Hello and welcome to A Celtic World, the YouTube channel and podcast made by Celtic fans all over the world, for Celtic fans all over the world. From Tuchters to Tunisia, New Lanark to Nigeria. Wherever you happen to be watching from, you're very much part of A Celtic World. And look, who do we have represented? We have Vague Asia. We have someone who used to say they were in Sydney but is now from a place called Sack the Board. And we have Brian in Ireland. Let's start with Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hello, guys. Hello, Gav. Good to see you. Glad to be back. Interesting the last few weeks. I'm sure we'll get into the nitty gritty of all that, but delighted to be back and just great to see the guys and talk about the match, talk about the 3 points.
Good to have some football to talk about.
Yep.
How's the weather, shall I ask, in Sack the Board?
Oh, the weather here is very, very nice. Just sort of the beginnings of summer starting to arrive here in Sydney. So very, very pleasant day today. Hi Brian, hi David, hi Gav.
Hi,
how are we all doing? I had a good weekend this weekend. I went to see a band on Saturday night called the Mary Wallopers. I don't know if any of you have heard of them. A traditional Irish band. Absolutely fantastic. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you. The energy in the room was incredible. So if any of you or if anyone in the comments are watching gets a chance to go and see the Mary Wallopers, please do. Great night.
And David, have you been doing any walloping recently?
I have not. No, I've been off the booze as well. So I've not been walloping anything. And
okay, so good to know.
But yes, I'm actually in Hanoi right now in Vietnam, where it's actually the weather's changing. So it's moving away from absolutely awfully hot into a bit cooler weather now. And it actually gets nice later in the year. But as long as I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't normally talk about the weather, but there's ridiculous amount of floods going on in the place I live in.
Is that all the Huntiers?
It could well be, but there's cars floating down the street. I haven't noticed the bang bus floating down the street just yet with, what's her name in it?
It's
Bonnie Blue.
But Bonnie Blue, that's the one.
They couldn't get any lower, like, bringing that
Bonnie Blue. Oh, my God. Yeah, no, but terrible floods, like loads of people's houses are, ruined and being washed away and stuff. Internet's coming and going. I was in the hospital for hours today with my son who broke his arm at football yesterday before the game. In the warm-up he fell and hurt his arm and then still wanted to play. Played the whole game and all that, and not until we got home last night. And he said, this is still sore. Went and got it x-rayed. So that's how hard he is. He's my son, you see.
How long did you have to wait, just out of interest?
In the hospital?
Aye.
Only a couple of hours.
Decent.
All in fact, seeing the doctor and all that and getting the thing put on.
Yeah, X-ray, that's really good.
Wasn't too bad. 2 or 3 hours, I'd say.
You'd probably be still there if he's over here. Still in casualty.
There you go, casualty. That's the situation. Monty's not heard of the Mary Wallopers, but he's heard of the Hun Wallopers. See what he did there? Hello to everyone in the chat, as always. Referencing the Huntiers. Kevin Gallagher coming in with a mention of Bonnie Blue. Oh dear, I better not put Monty's comment up. That's a little bit too lewd, even for us, even for our filthy potty mouths. All right, well, let's get on with it. What are we doing today? Well, let's have a look at the thumbnail to see how that's going to inform our chat. Skin of our teeth. That's the expression. There's Brendan looking slightly less than comfortable in the middle, but surrounded by glowing newbies in the side, which are offering some signs of hope. As you can see, that's the stadium in the background with lots of empty seats, so that probably also plays into the conversation a little bit. But before we get into the game, let's start with who watched it live. Did we all watch it live, or was it a bit too late maybe for Sydney?
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it live. It was a 12 o'clock midnight kickoff on a Sunday night here, so I had to get up for work in the morning, so I just got up maybe an hour and a half early in the morning and just stuck it on in delay. I have beIN Sports subscription, so that allows you to watch the game on delay without knowing the score. So I did that as if it was live. So so I watched the whole game.
Yeah, good man. I watched it live. I also watched the what would you call it?
The diets versus
The full fats
fat.
versus the diet. Exactly. I watched that game as well. That was quite fun to see those two games back to back.
I couldn't get it on. Couldn't get it anywhere. I've tried.
Oh yeah.
But
I got it on one of my dodgy avenues.
Yes.
Which is all I've got now that I don't have Celtic TV. Power to the people. All right. So it's what's that? What are you pointing at?
Sideboard.
Oh, aye. But you're pointing at David there. Okay, so before we get into the game, let's talk about around the game like we like to. Well, maybe we'll start with that sack the board issue because this is the moment Celtic fans entered Rugby Park in the 12th minute as a protest against the club's board. Well, we'll start with Brian on that because, Brian, you were our representative at the meeting. So tell us about that quickly and then this initiative and how you think it went.
No, it's just a meeting of all the fan groups and media groups, and it was just a lovely thing that everyone sat together and realised. I mean, they've been realising this for years. The club is in a bad way. Say bad way, it's being run, not being run the way we deem it to be, deem fit. And we all got together, and not we, well, the fan groups got together and devised a bit of a plan. The Celtic Trust were there, Harry Brady was there, supporters groups of Ireland, and we just addressed the questionnaire that was sent out. There's 3,500 fans, and we sort of talked about the stats and talked about what we see long term and short term, and it was a unanimous agreement short term that the fans were going to have a 12th delayed entry into the ground by 12 minutes. So basically we're the 12th man, and football without fans is nothing. And some of the stories, certainly I'm sure you've heard about the Irish Celtic Supporters Club meeting with Michael Nicholson, and his to-do list is, must engage with the fans a lot better. It's just frankly embarrassing. But great to see the fans together, and yeah. But Sky could have put a bit more. Just thinking about it, Sky could have put a bit more emphasis on it. I thought they sort of glossed over it a wee bit, and but then what do you expect from Sky? But no, just good to see. It'll happen. The change will happen. It may not happen overnight, but it's definitely we need to have dialogue and move on.
So, David, what was decided at the meeting was that there would be a series of actions, escalatory in nature, which by its very definition means the first thing is going to be relatively small, progressively bigger thereafter. Do you think this was a good starting point, or would you be against it if you were a game-going fan?
So it kind of bothered me that I saw fans in the ground when the game started. They actually really irked me. So
yeah.
I was pissed off actually when I saw. Because I was hoping for an empty ground, because I think the message needs to be driven until there's affirmative action from the board, that we get true recognition of the voice of the fans. Now, we know that they hear it. We absolutely do. Brendan in his press conferences has always avoided. And they all like to pretend they don't like social media. They don't do social media. And I guarantee it's one of the first things they look at in the morning and get fed as to what's happening. So I absolutely know that we need to see something from the board. And do we want this to be prolonged? We don't want to hurt the team, but we certainly want to see something coming from the board. So I would like a more unified, I would like it a lot more people to join in and make sure that we deprive the board, not the team, of support, because we certainly want to continue to support the team. We'll allow Brendan some support just now because of his press conference, because that was a joy to watch and a masterclass of avoiding one individual's name. So yeah, I want more to happen, but I want it to happen, the board to react as quickly as we possibly can so we can get back to being the most successful club in Scotland and hopefully soon a successful club in Europe.
Well, this was the picture of the board sitting there watching it, Stephen. What do you think the conversation was between them, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even speculate what they were talking to each other about. I find it hard to find any rational response that they could have to what's happening, because all the behaviour up to now has been completely irrational. So I hope they were uncomfortable. I hope they were squirming in their seats, and the sight of them all just sitting there, it really does makes me want to spew, to be honest with you, especially the likes of Brian Wilson and his ilk there, that they don't contribute a single thing to the club, and all they're doing there is getting a box seat for every game, been there for many years now, and just pocketing money and bonuses and fees and contributing nothing to the growth of the club. So that really annoys me. I noticed Peter Law wasn't there, so there's been a little bit of speculation on the socials today that perhaps Law's going to be the sacrificial lamb offered up to the Celtic fan. Rumours of a potential retirement announcement that might be coming around, but I don't think that's just not going to be enough. And I think what they'll find, if they think that's going to placate the fans, they'll be wrong. In terms of the action itself, I agree with David. I was quite annoyed that there was so many people in the ground. It looked to me as if there was more people in than out. I thought it was less than 50% outside. I might be wrong. That was just going from the TV pictures. But it did do what it was intended to do. It was only ever intended to raise awareness. And from that point of view, it hit the mark. So it got mentioned on Sky. I know what you're saying, Brian. They didn't really pay too much attention to it, but they did mention it. And it's been mentioned in almost every report on the game. And I noticed Brendan gave it a bit of a name check in his post-match comments, talking about the first 12 minutes and what the team had to do. So he's making reference to it as well. So in terms of making a statement, that's been achieved.
Okay, and then on with the game then. Should we get on with that? I've taken some stills from highlights reel here. Very little time today. Some of them are a bit blurry, especially this one. This is at the very start. Brian, you always loved me asking you if you remember these moments in the game, so let's see if you remember this one. Ball over the top from Cal Mack to Tonekti was the first sort of highlight. Do you remember this? And he just gets his foot to it. Go on.
I like the fact that he was aggressive. He went for it. He didn't hold on to the ball and try and lay it back to somebody. He says, "Figured I'm going to have a rattle here." Didn't go in, but I like the look at Tonetski, or is it Tonetki, or how do you pronounce it, Gav? Keep me right. Tonetski.
Well, Tonekti, I think it is.
Tonetki, but he seemed brave. Tonekti.
Correct.
Tonekti. Tonekti. He looks aggressive. He looks brave on the ball, and he's not afraid to push it forward. And you know, it just was. We have been starved of that type of player since Jota has been injured, and it was just a delight to see. And hopefully, he'll take a bit of pressure off the rest of the usual suspects. But it was like he'd been playing for us for 6 months. Just looked like a real quality kind of guy that's going to, you know, unlock any kind of defence. He also looked a bit like, I don't know if you're any of Jane's Addiction fans, but the guitarist Dave Navarro looks like he could be his son or something, you know. The jet black one for the kids there, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, we can talk more about the players generally, the stars of the show, when we get through these sort of moments in the game. Here's the next one. CCV lets fly, Stephen, from distance.
Yeah, I think he stepped forward out of defence and just decided to have a go, because there wasn't much happening in front of him. It was a decent effort. I think it took a bit of a nick on the way through off one of the defenders, and the keeper's made a half decent save. So I think at that point in the first half, we were kind of struggling to create anything up front. There was a little bit of a worrying time, and it looked as if this game was going to follow the pattern of most of our previous games this season. We were going to struggle to create anything. Thankfully, they sort of put that right in the second half. But that was a kind of symptom that CCV just got fed up and decided to step out and have a crack himself.
Yeah, it's always good to see that, isn't it? See him unleashing one when he does. It's not that often. Apart from Tunekti, Sarachi looked the part, did he not? And indeed it was he who set up the goal. This is his ball in. He's just releasing the ball for Maeda. David?
I certainly thought there was something very promising about this boy. He looks as if he's not scared of anybody, with the possibility that he's actually a wee bit mental. That was the only thing I noticed about him, that he certainly had no fear in going forward. Nothing fazed him. Certainly that ball into Maeda there. I was going to question it. I know we've had fights on this podcast before about, was it absolutely deliberately for Maeda? And I looked at it when I saw it from about two or three different angles, and I think it was. So that was
Couldn't have been for anyone else.
Well, it could have been that he kind of put it in more generally in front of the Kilmarnock players, because there were players running. But I think it was because if you look at him just before he takes the ball, he looked up, seen where Maeda was going, and I think it was kind of pinpoint. So I actually think there's something there with a little kind of red flag on top of the guy. But let's see. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we can't dismiss players with minimal evidence, and nor can we sing their praises from the rooftops, but I thought it was very encouraging what we saw from him.
Yeah.
Tonekti's in loads of these incidents here. Here he is now, Brian, squaring the ball for Negrin, who has a crack, but it hits that defender in the head, which happened a few times.
Yeah, he's not afraid to release the ball. There's one, I think he had a shot and then it came off someone and then he let it in for Negrin. But yeah, on another day, that's in the back of the net. I'm glad Negrin has been listening to the boys here and not doing the cup of the year anymore. So absolutely. Glad to see he's taking on the advice from the Celtic world.
We're so influential. Well, I mean, he nearly had an absolute nightmare. He didn't have a great game.
No.
But it could have been a lot worse, because he nearly scored an own goal. Stephen, do you remember this moment? Just snuck wide.
Yeah, he just stuck a leg out at it, and I think he by this point he was struggling. And you're right, he wasn't great at all. And I'm not really sure how he managed to stay in the park for the full 90. But that was very, very lucky. He just got his legs in a fanco there and ended up poking the ball towards his own goal. Thankfully, it just went the wrong side of the post, or the right side of the post for us.
Yeah. And the next bit of action I've got here, I've saved it as Tunekti runs and shoots. I think it's him. Might be the left back. Not sure, but this one went narrowly wide. David, can you clarify who's that having a shot?
No,
they kind of look similar, don't they? It's hard to tell them apart.
Yeah, it was Tunekti. It was a really good run from Tunekti, and he stepped in on his right foot and hammered the shot, but it was well wide. It went into the side net, but it was another good run from him though.
Tunekti. There's Brian Warrior helping us out there, both with identification.
Let's just call him Seb.
And I heard Brendan calls him that Seba.
Seb.
Remember that balloon they signed from Universidad Católica, Seb Rosenthal?
Yeah,
basically the best. He just, even then, he looked overweight. Like, I know I can't talk, but Jesus Christ, brutal.
And Luke McCowan also had a shot.
Yeah. Yep. Poke it another day that goes in. Sorry, Gav.
No, go ahead. But we don't have much to say about it, I don't think. What's next? Oh, this is their goal, David.
Oh.
This was upsetting.
Was it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was the ball in was good. I thought the way in which it was taken. Was it a defensive fault? I don't know. I looked at it today.
Let's throw it open to the table and see who lost their man.
So it was your man Tuneki that lost his man. Now
call him by his name.
You could, yeah, why not? Seb lost his man. Quite why our left winger was marking one of their aerial danger men in the box. He's their centre half, I think. So, why is your left winger marking one of their centre halves? It should be one of our centre halves, or at the very least one of our fullbacks that's marking him. So he just ran off him. He didn't track the run, and I'm not sure why that was set up. Maybe it was a bit of miscommunication, being his first game in the team. But he certainly shouldn't have been man marking Watson for their goal, because he was one of their danger men in the box, and that was probably his one black mark.
Question marks over whether the keeper might have come for that, David?
I thought Schmeichel could have done better. You had someone like Fraser Forster in nets, or Sinisalo, or Craig Gordon, anybody. I just think I would take Schmeichel out for a while, but who am I to talk?
You're a very important Celtic influencer, Brian. Don't you know that? Going to meetings and all.
I don't know about
running
that.
The show. David, do you absolve Schmeichel of any blame for that goal?
I kind of stand by. I think it was a really nice ball in, and it was very well taken, headed goal. You can look for fault, but was it a disastrous goal to give away? No, sorry, it wasn't. Well taken by Kilmarnock, well deserved, but I'm not going to look to maybe the point about tracking players back, possibly, but I still think it was a decent goal. I'm absolving him. Yes, I need to do something now.
No penance. Lovett's comment here. Scales made a huge mistake at one point and then passed to Casper 5 times in a row after it. I didn't notice that, but if there's anyone in this panel who will have picked up on that, it'll be Steve-O. Steve-O?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know the incident that Lovett's talking about there. It wasn't really a catastrophic mistake, but he did give the ball away, which set Kilmarnock on the attack at one point. But that's just Liam Scales for you. And I thought he played well enough, as the whole back four played well enough. We came under a lot of pressure with them with our long throw-ins and their set piece delivery. That was their only tactic really, was to shell the ball into our box and try and win a second ball. But I thought, he done well enough, but his limitations are his limitations, and I can't see them getting any better at this point. He's just not very good at passing the ball out from the back. So if that's what you're looking for from Liam Scales, you're just not going to get it. But if you're looking for him to stand up to big physical centre forwards, which is what Kilmarnock had, then I think he does fine. But I do maintain that's a position we should be looking to upgrade.
And then, Brian, going back to Nygren's near disaster, there was another point in the game here where it was quite tight at the edge of the box, and he tries to make a pass, doesn't he, to Cal Mack, who's like 2 feet away, and then they had a shot that almost fucking snuck in.
I forget who had the shot, but it might have been the goal scorer again. But just instead of just launching it, some messing about at the back, and I don't know, maybe just because the plastic pitch, I just thought Cal looks as if he's lost a yard of pace or two. Decision making at the end was not great, but it's all about the 3 points, I think it would be good to get him rested.
Point a finger at Cal Mack in that situation. I mean, Nygren should have just played it into safe space. No, David?
Well, I think, in that situation, but I certainly think we need to discuss our midfield and McGregor at times as well, because he just looks overrun these days. I don't know whether or not it's that he has lost pace, and that's entirely possible given how long he's been playing the game now, and we've expected so much of him. But he doesn't seem to have much support. So our defence will become under pressure, and people will make mistakes because our midfield doesn't control the game in the way that we were able to in the past. So maybe not in this instance, Gav, but I certainly think we need to discuss it at some point.
All right. Well, let's focus on the positive here. This is another positive, Stephen. Young Donovan, as I've taken to calling him because I can never remember his full name when I try and remember it. I know it is Colby, but anyway, this is him. He gets to the byline, somehow he gets past that defender and then cuts it back. This was leading up to the penalty, wasn't it, James?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, it was great play from Donovan there. He's gone past the defender and used a bit of physicality to just shrug him off the ball, and from there he's got the presence of mind to get his head up, and he's picked out Forrest, who's had a shot at goal, and it's ended up being blocked by the guy's hand. So really good from Donovan. I thought he looked pretty good. He had his moments where he gave the ball away a couple of times, but I think he showed at least that he's as good, if not better, than Ralston. And the massive upside with Donovan is he's so young, and he's only going to get better the more appearances he has. So I think he's probably leapfrogged Ralston to the sort of backup right back position. And I'm pretty sure that Ralston will struggle to get back in the team.
Here comes the hurdy-gurdy man.
I love that song. I was listening to it yesterday.
It's a great song, isn't it?
Brilliant song. Zodiac. It's on the start of the Zodiac movie. But Jimmy Page played on that song. Did you know that?
Did not.
Jimmy Page did the guitar and all the rest of it.
Very good. All right, so then we're on to the penalty incident then. I mean, Donovan does look like a big, strong boy, doesn't he? He's like
it's great to see the average age. What is he, 20, 21? Because we have the oldest 11 on the pitch in the league. Our average age is about 27, 28. So it's good to see that young fella coming in, and more the merrier. Bring them on.
Brian the Music Man. Oh dear, Stephen has left us temporarily. All right, well, we can talk about the penalty. Here's a tweet to stimulate the conversation. Nice to see the standard meltdown for Celtic being given a stonewall penalty. Apparently, you shouldn't get stonewall penalties if you're drawing in the last minute. Now, who would hands up who thinks it was a stonewall penalty? Oh, what happened,
Steve?
What are you doing? Why is he trying to take control? Who did that? Not me. Was it a stonewall penalty, David?
It is a penalty because the arm stops the ball going on target. Could the boy have moved quickly enough? Was he determined to stop the ball? It was quite close range, wasn't it? And that ball was moving at pace. But it's a penalty. So stonewall, deliberate, meant to interrupt us and all that. I'm not so sure, but technically it is a penalty. So it is.
I think John Beaton was got a text from I think it's the Socky Hall Rangers Supporters Club saying that we can't have we need to get rid of Martin, so that'll put more pressure on Russell Martin if he gives the penalty. Fair play to him, brother Beaton.
This is my overriding emotion, as Big Dom puts it. I think we're lucky to get the penalty, especially from Beaton. I wouldn't have been surprised if it hadn't been given. Stephen, you missed the stonewaller or not a stonewaller conversation. I'd love to hear you say the word stonewaller. So
stonewaller.
Yeah.
It was a penalty kick. I mean, as the rules are these days, it's a penalty kick, and it's been a penalty kick for a couple of seasons now. So, I don't know why. I don't know where all the whinging's coming from. And I was listening Stuart Kettlewell's post-match, and he's just a dick who
Eddie
just
Munster.
embarrasses
Loves a
himself.
girl.
He just embarrasses himself any time he talks about Celtic at all. He's usually quite well spoken about the game in general, but whenever he talks about Celtic, he just loses it and just exposes himself. It's as if somebody pulls a mask off him Scooby-Doo style to reveal a stinking hun underneath. So, it was a penalty. I can understand why they're frustrated by it. Because it's in the last minute and it was the last kick of the ball, basically. But as the rules state, it's a penalty.
Yeah, close range deflections. If the ball deflects off another body part or player and hits the arm, referees consider whether the player had time to react. If not, and the arm is in a natural position, it's often not penalised. Even on a ricochet, if the arm is away from the body and makes the silhouette unnaturally bigger, it can still be called a handball. So I think that's where we're at with that one, really. But as we discussed earlier, some of us watched the full fats versus the diets 24 hours beforehand. And the decisions in that game were, like, I was texting my heart-supporting mate, and I was like, what's going on? I can't believe this. Because he was saying, where do you see the West of Scotland Old Firm referee decisions? And then they got everything. Hearts, didn't they? And he just couldn't believe it. Like, their penalty didn't look much like a stonewaller to me. How much contact was there with that? So between that game and ours, we got to be happy enough with the old VAR, do we not, David?
I think certainly. It was given in the first one, wasn't it? So it was a review on the ref's decision. It wasn't that it was a play on. So tell me that again, so I'll make sure, because I didn't quite catch it. Penalty was given. VAR reviewed that decision. Is that what happened? Because it came after the VAR. Yeah, in our game.
Not in our game. Not in our game. No, the penalty wasn't given.
No.
He gave a call, beating awarded a corner. But just to take you up on something there, Gav, if we're supposed to be happy that the rules are being applied to us in a fair and even-handed way, then I'm not sure that's. I think that should be the default position, rather than something we're happy about. I know we do normally get a lot of refereeing decisions against us. Yeah, but that should be the normal situation. The rules were applied correctly, and we were awarded a penalty. So I'm not sure why we would be happy or unhappy about that.
Free at last. We're getting justice finally.
We're happy we won the game. But it was a penalty, and we should just give credit to Celtic for keeping on playing right till the end.
I mean, Kilmarnock offered nothing the whole game. I mean, they're a home team, and one shot on target. Did they have a shot? Did they? They had a couple of. They scored the goal, and then there was the Negrin nearly OG. But what did they offer in the game? Very little. So that's quite ironic that the team that attacked more get the penalties. So slap it up them. What's his name? Eddie Munster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Strangelove the Doctor makes a good point there. In Kettlewell's post-match, he just told a blatant lie. He was comparing this incident to some pre-season talk they'd had from the referees, and he'd been told that wasn't going to be a penalty, but only if the ball was going away from goal. So he just sort of made up the scenario that in this case the ball was going away from goal, but it wasn't. It was heading towards the goal. It was a direct shot from Forrest that took a massive deflection off the defender's foot, and if your man doesn't handle it, there's a very good chance that ends up in the back of the net. So in that situation, it's a clear penalty. So again, just nonsense from Kettlewell and from Chris Boyd, but that's probably to be expected.
Yeah, and then whenever the penalty was given, there was a moment of, we were all looking, thinking, I wonder who's going to take it. I thought McGregor was taking it.
So did I. I was flipping, going get that ball off him.
I was hoping he wasn't going to take it. Yeah. And then who stepped forward, Brian, to make it happen?
Big Eniacho. Fair play to him. Did really nothing during it. Did I pronounce that right? That isn't it.
Close enough. Close enough.
What
At
is
least
it?
you're not Ryan. Ryan118 says, Iheanacho.
Is it
Which
Iheanacho?
takes me to the fair. Yeah, Iheanacho.
Iheanacho. So didn't really
It's
have
not
much.
like I'm a stickler for pronunciations, Brian.
I know.
Correct.
But fair play to me, he had the cojones to get up and take it, and he took it, and I saw the wee shuffle that was going. Oh Jesus, don't! And then I just jumped. I just delighted. It's the first time, I'd safely say, first time this season I felt a bit. I felt something. It shoots a recovery. I'm saying that we're top of the league anyway, but I just felt that was a great one for the fans, great one for the big fella. Yeah, 3 points. Keep on going.
That's it. In our chat and WhatsApp, I was saying, like, these days you can't really expect us to perform. So it's back to the days of, the 3 points is what it's all about. And there's no better way of nailing 3 points than a last minute penalty. In some senses, that's the purest of victories, Stephen, for a football fan. Last kick of the game. You hear me? No, I don't think you can hear me. David, can you?
Yes, I can. I think it really, the only thing that bothered me was, and maybe we'll come to it again, was that the board thought it was quite delicious because I saw them enjoying it and clapping and standing, and that annoyed me. But for the supporters like us who pay for all of this, I thought it was excellent. It was very sweet. But like Brian, I hate those wee shuffle penalties. I don't like it.
Well, that wasn't really a wee shuffle, was it? He ran off to the side and then he came.
Sort of.
No, that was, and I don't like it. Just boot that ball into the net. But anyway, I was delighted for the lad. And was it? We're wondering and giving ourselves a hard time about pronouncing his name. And can we get it spelt right in the back of his shirt?
Yeah, fair play, David.
We can. That's true.
That would have cost another 50p to get the extra N in. That was Sky TV, wasn't it? It wasn't on the back of his jersey. It was on the. What was it? Was it on the TV?
It was on the back of his jersey. This is it here. Look, the name on the back of his shirt may have been wrong, but Kelechi Iheanacho made quite the impact on his Celtic debut. I mean, world class in everything we do, right? Can he get the boy's name right?
Something that it was very definitely something that we would expect across the other side of the city to do, and they were very prone to it. But that's disappointing. I was delighted for the boy. Do you
remember the kit they got with what was it? Trumps. I hate them. A story, and they were doing a pre-season friendly, and somebody had to wear one of the fake turkey tops. It was brilliant. They're like ripped down the side.
It was, yeah.
Well, one thing you won't see them doing over the other side of the city is celebrating goals like this. And I saw some people saying on Twitter things like, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool atheist, but I really hope he does this next time he's playing at Ibrox. Does that entertain you, Stephen? Stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have been venturing onto old Kel's, as Brendan calls him, Kel's Instagram page, and he's clearly a very devout Christian. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with a man expressing his faith in that way. So he just scored a winning goal in his debut for his new club. So, why not? But there might be a different outcome if he did it at Ibrox. But I'm sure I've seen quite a few of those of their players blessing themselves on the way onto the pitch as well. So it might be a bit hypocritical of them to take any issue with it, but I'm sure they would anyway.
They used to take issue with it. Thankfully, now it's like doesn't seem to be quite the big deal anymore. All right, let's talk about players then, more specifically. The man of the match and the most exciting thing that happened in that game was clearly Tinekti. I mean, David, talk to me about this guy. Why did you like watching him so much?
So one of the things was his pace, for sure. I thought his direct approach to passing, well, certainly someone who knows how to go forward and find forward balls rather than just passing back all the time. He seems confident And this is the one wee point I just wonder about. Is he a bit mental? That he does, you know how you get these mental players who they just go at stuff, and it's not because they're brave, they're just a wee bit daft. Just that tiny wee thing.
I think we needed that, David. Did you see him shouting at Iheanacho? Am I doing it? Your man, the new
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Iheanacho. So
don't overthink it.
He put a pass into him, and Iheanacho was off. Obviously he's not fully match fit, but I like that fact that he went at him and said, like, I don't know what he said, like, but I like that. I like players to have a bit of balls, excuse my French, and be brave on the ball, and also not be afraid to take a few out. And I think it'll give the team a real good lift, having new blood in there. And the only thing would be, imagine if we had him in the first Kairat game. Could he have unlocked the defence? Could he have made that difference? And that's why we're at the juncture where we are with the board.
I'm going everything positive with him right now. So even if I had that wee voice in the back of my head, I think it's just that glimmer of hope. And I saw a few of the comments when I questioned whether or not it was a precise ball to Maeda or whether or not it was to get in front of the Kilmarnock players. And everybody was saying, no, it was definitely a cross-in. So for me, I'm giving him that. If that's what he can deliver, that's direct, that's forward, that's exciting football. Let me see more of it, and let's talk about this over the next 2 or 3 weeks.
And it'd be good to see him on a good pitch.
I like it.
Be good to see him on a proper pitch and decent.
Exactly.
At playing against a team that has 11 men behind the ball. But to come on and make your debut away to Kilmarnock, which is historically a Mingin ground, fair play.
Guys are killing it with this quip. A little bit of alliteration there from him. The Tunisian tornado, Tunekti. Yeah, no, he was very good. So it's exciting. It's definitely exciting to see where we go with him. Marcelo Saracchi, who is the guy who put in the cross for the goal, right? I'm getting a bit confused with what David's saying there. Were you talking about Tunekti putting the ball in the goal, David?
I was mistaken. You're correct. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
However, I think his forward direct passing and play. We'll go with that.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Saracchi then, tidy as anything. Looks like a player. Also looks like he's been playing with us for a while. Showed a decent range of passing. And that was his debut. That's him playing within himself, you would imagine. A left back. Stephen, were you impressed with him?
Yeah, I thought he grew into the game. I thought early on in the game, again, like many others in our team, he gave the ball away a few times, and he was a bit slack with his passing in some periods of the first half. But he definitely grew into the game and started sort of stepping into midfield a bit, sort of a la Greg Taylor style, dare we say it. And I thought he was quite effective when he did that. In fact, the goal came from a point where he kind of stepped into midfield and picked out that pass into the box. So, I think it was very encouraging. And given the fact that Kieran Tierney seems to be still struggling to get himself fit enough to last 90 minutes, I think Saracchi's going to get an awful lot of game time this year. So. He's a very experienced player. He's played in some of the top leagues in Europe and in South America, so we shouldn't really be surprised that he's not phased. And again, it will be good to see him playing on a proper grass surface instead of that hideous plastic thing down at Kilmarnock. But that goes for everyone in the team.
Yeah, he is only on loan. That's
he's only on loan. Yeah.
You don't want to fall in love with them too much. Here's big Colby Donovan. Look at him. He's a big, strong boy, isn't he? How old is he? Can anyone tell us? 19 or something?
Big tattoo in the left arm there.
Is he older than 19? Who knows how old
he is?
I
think he's... I don't know.
But you're Googling it, so that's good.
I'm just going to Google it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was encouraging. Oh, there's Kettlewell giving his usual
Yeah, he's 19.
19. There's Kettlewell giving his usual gurning after the game. Oh, I'm not showing that. Sorry, I thought I was showing that. We had Celtic under a lot of pressure. Amazement, it's been awarded as a penalty. We should have had a throw in. That was pretty categoric. Yada, yada, yada. Now, we don't want to lavish too much praise on players, like I say, with a paucity of evidence. In the same way as we don't want to rule players out. But if there's one player who's coming in for a lot of stick, at the same time as all this praise for others, it's Balikwisha. Playing out of position in only a second game or whatever, so I'm certainly not, declaring him a dud yet, but given that it's Celtic fans we're talking about, there's quite a lot out there that are.
Look at Kuhn's first couple of games for us. He took time to settle, and he's our asset, so we need to try and get behind him. There's no point trying to do a hatchet piece on the guy. It's going to take him a bit of time to adjust, and we'll see what happens. But just there'll be enough games for him to find out his level and what he's doing. There'll be enough games for him to compete and help the team. I think we're looking for. I mean, I'm certainly looking for some, a Paddy Roberts type player, which we're not getting. He comes inside. He doesn't take people on, whereas Tunetki does. But we'll see what happens. Apparently, he's a good all-round, selfless player, from what I believe, Balikwisha. But he's only 2 games in, and the team, to be fair, were not in great shape prior to his arrival. So hopefully, a bit more on the training field and a bit more coaching, and he'll be there doing the business.
Based on the data, says Mahesh, Balikwisha has the best potential. But my fear about him is he's not going to pass the pacey winger who gets past his man on a regular enough occasion test for Steve-O. Unlike Tunekti, I think he's a bit more of a cut-in merchant. Do you think that's true, Stephen?
Well, I think it remains to be seen, but some of the commentary on Balikwisha today has been frankly laughable on Celtic social media, with guys just writing him off as pish after a game, two games, one of which is he was playing out of position and on a hideous plastic pitch there at Kilmarnock. So he was also playing in front of Donovan today, who's just a young guy, also feeling his way into the team. So he's not had a chance to create any understanding with his fullbacks. And yeah, I think he's been, on the whole, it looks as if he should probably try and get the ball down and attack his defender a little bit more. But it's way too early to be making any sort of call on him at the moment.
Do we have any Dallas Dynasty fans? There's a big debate going on in the comments about Colby, where the name Colby came from. Was it a spin-off from Dallas or Dynasty?
Colby,
I was going to suggest Casualty.
You're thinking of Holby. No, Colby. There was Alexis Colby. Wasn't that Joan Collins? Yeah, didn't she play?
Right.
Not that I was never allowed to watch Dallas Stroke Dynasty because I grew up in a really strict household. Benny Hill weren't even allowed Benny Hill. Carry On.
Oh, really?
We're allowed Carry On, but I don't know why. Or Pam Ewing.
Pam Ewing was the best. I used to love her.
What was the girl? Emma Sams, wasn't it? And then Catherine Oxenberg. There we go.
Just listen to you. Where are you pulling all these names from?
I told you, Gav, my memory's great until 21.
I vaguely remember it.
Joan Collins.
Falcon Chris. Joan Collins was never that great, was she? I mean, she was never my type anyway.
No. Do you know who grew on me over the years? 2 ladies that grew on me, and you don't need to know this. Who was the woman, Sapphire and Steel? What was her the big blonde? Joanna Lumley.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't like her, and then she got older, definitely. And then Kylie. I never fancied Kylie when she was in her 20s, but she hit 45, 50. It was like, hope my wife's not watching this.
Oh dear, dear. A little,
Right to say that.
little window into the soul of Brian there. That's good to know. Can't get Kylie out of your head. Oh, here's this something that was mentioned earlier. Let's go back to this. The bitterest man in Scottish football. See who's in the crowd there? Over and over again.
Boydie.
Yeah. What's Boydie been up to then?
Don't know why he's got a
well,
job. He's terrible. He's shockingly bad. He's an idiot. He's a complete hun, and he doesn't even try and hide it. Yeah. Better to sit in silence and open your mouth and remove all doubt, isn't that what the saying goes, Gav? With Chris Boyd. He's just a
bit
tool.
like that.
Complete tool.
Better to sit in silence and be thought a fool than to speak up and remove all doubt.
Thank you, Gav.
That's how it goes.
I love the way they have him on. They have him on talking about Celtic games, and he just sits there like a wee boy in the huff, and he talks. When he talks, he doesn't look at anyone. He doesn't make eye contact with any of the other panelists, and he just sort of talks away into the distance, making his wee snide comments. But I don't look. I understand why they have him on for Rangers games. He's a bit of a Rangers man and all that stuff. But why on earth they have him commenting on Celtic games? I have no idea.
You should have John Robertson in there because Rangers are 10th in the league. So would you not rather have a team that's sort of near the top commentating? You get John Robertson on or your man Stephen Presley or somebody. But no, he's just a plant pot. Who needs him? He's just keep him there. Sutton's got the intelligence where he's just an idiot, and he's turned into almost like a meme, a comedy character, Gav, which could lead you onto the poor old Chrissy Boyd theme tune, though. I
was thinking of that. Unfortunately, I haven't loaded it up. Shut up, your face.
Chris Sutton absolutely destroyed Boyd's career when he brought that cardboard cutout of him into the Sky studio, and that was the end. That was the end of Chris Boyd as a serious football commentator.
Yeah.
He should probably have retired there and then.
That's right. Okay, here's a quick message for the 110 or so people that are watching live. If anyone's new, this is Celtic World, twice a week only. Costs you nothing to subscribe. It's not full of bloody YouTube ads. That's one good thing about our channel.
Poison.
And, nothing's behind a paywall. Completely independent fan media.
Hello all the Celtic fans. Here in France we love the Celtic world. C'est fantastique. Subscribe. C'est un fait accompli.
It's a fait accompli. Do we want to talk about them just for a second? They're in 10th place. Yeah. And they're sticking with Russell Martin. And of course, their fan media is hilarious to watch, isn't it? It's all like, that's it. I know the feeling. Go ahead.
Did you happen to catch the press conference with the fan media?
And you heard Stevie giving it to him. Stevie, the blue beluga, as he's known.
It's that's probably one of the pitfalls of putting your highly paid football operatives in front of fan media, especially Rangers fan media. So they're not the most cerebral of people. And it was just that I had to laugh. But the first question was, "So Russell, are you going to resign?" He just said no.
But that's what all the fans want.
The guy started saying, "Well, I think you should." So it was just hilarious. It was really funny, and they're in all sorts of trouble. And I don't know. I feel as if he's a dead man walking. And I love how the fact that they're right into all the business about him being a vegan, and being a Green supporter and all this,
boring.
And that's bubbled right to the surface as soon as things went up, even the slightest bit wrong for him.
They're just Neanderthals. The fact that he's a vegan, the fact that he's well spoken, he doesn't wear the brown
Buddhist.
and he wears a black shirt. He doesn't wear the crest and all. You know I hope he stays. I think you know something. See if they kept him. I think eventually they would win the league.
I have a
The-
feeling
the
too that if they
championship-
kept him, you would
championship.
begin to see that some of the players that they've bought are in
Yeah.
fact not too bad. You know, I
Yeah.
don't think they've just bought a bunch of duds this summer. Honestly, don't.
See as well. This is something that I think Rangers fans need to be called out. Your man Nico Raskin leaked the team to Bruges. He was looking to move, and now they're turned around going, "Oh, get
Wow.
Nico back in the team." Do you know? I've no interest in them, but they've just no morals, and they'll hound that man out. He's maybe out of his depth, who knows? But I bet you the 49ers are sitting there going, "Why the hell did we invest in this Shar?"
That's funny what Kaiser says here. We should be careful about slagging them off because see when this takeover happens, they're going to be back.
They're coming though. They are
Wait a
coming. They're coming.
10th place, so that's pretty funny. You got to say. All right. Well, there only remains a few minutes left, so let's just bring up a couple of things here. Jungle Day supporting Celtic in the 1980s by our friend John White. That is out now, or very shortly. It's coming out. Does it say there when it's out? September 22nd of September. So, well, that's pretty soon. And review copies are available. Let me know if interested, says John. So, I suppose Stephen or any one of you want to put your hand up for a review copy of that book.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I thought it'd be up your street, all right.
I think I should get a wee acknowledgement or something. I think me and you helped them write it, didn't we? That podcast we did with them, Gav.
Yeah, well, you would have certainly more than me with your tales of daring do on the buses and all
The
that.
sandwiches, the pissy sandwiches was my favourite, Stephen.
The rolling piss. Yeah.
Rolling.
Oh, it's disgusting. Well, let's move on to something a bit more uplifting. This is our friends at Geneva Celtic Supporters Club having their golf day out. Look at this. This is them playing golf on the banks of Lake Geneva. That would make you want to dust the old clubs off, wouldn't it? Anyone here swing?
19th hole only.
Look at that. It's nice, isn't it? Look at that green. Beautiful. Stephen, you don't play around on the golf courses of Australia, do you?
I have on a couple of occasions had a go at golfing since I came to Australia, but it's just it's not for me. But I gave it a try. I tried to like it because it sounds like a worthwhile way to spend an afternoon, but it just wasn't for me.
And David?
Can't stand it.
Can't stand it.
Can't
Bourgeois,
Aye,
elitist.
There's something
aye,
vaguely Masonic about the whole thing, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, it just
yeah, exactly.
doesn't sit comfortably with me. The whole
Yeah.
the clubhouse
Yeah.
membership and all this
Yeah.
question.
Exactly.
That's spoken like somebody who's outside the walls, peering in,
Yeah,
wanting to be
that's
part
right.
of it.
Yeah, I've always.
I mean, I grew up near a wee course in Ireland, and we used to play in the summers, a little 9-hole course down in Cushendall. But I haven't played for ages, like over maybe a decade and a half.
When
But
I
I
used to
was-
visit my nana in Greenock, we would go to the pitch and putt that would
Yeah.
play down. And the pitch and putt was brilliant to go to in Greenock. And it was all us Tims that used to go there. So that was okay.
Yeah, it's fun. But I've been trying to make a comeback, and I bought a bag, and I'm buying all these clubs online and buying second-hand putters and a driver and all this. And no sooner did I get my set of clubs together than I broke my wrist. So that knocked me back. That was 3 months ago now, so I'm almost ready to get back out there with my fellow brothers from the lodge. And
Who are you
hit a
trying to
few balls.
impress, Gav? Who is it? What is it you're trying to do?
Just
What
want a
business
social
deal is it
climb
you
a
need
bit.
done?
Trying to
Wasn't-
get my
what-
way up the social hierarchy.
Wasn't Big
You'll
Jock
never
in the
let me in
Larrys?
the Masons. You'll never get in the Masons, Gav. Your
Wasn't Big
background
Jock in the Larrys?
cheek on that.
Big
Say
Jock.
again?
Wasn't Big Jock in the Larrys? In the Larry Graysons? Masons.
I don't know. Is that the known
Aye,
rhyming
Big
slang? Is
Jock
it?
was he was in the Larry Graysons, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Shut that
Maybe-
door.
maybe-
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. Pictures of me with Dermot Desmond showing
Oh,
me
yes,
something
there
on
was-
his phone.
I was meant to say that there was a couple of the guys from, I forget where it was, we're contemplating going up the Dunhill Cup to piss off Desmond. There was a couple of guys that was on.
Yeah, there was talk about some people getting up to St Andrews,
St Andrews.
and
That's what it was.
throwing golf balls onto the fairway when Desmond's coming down. So just to ruin it all and create a bit of
Love it.
embarrassment for him. And I think that's probably a decent way of
Ping pong balls.
taking a fight to him, basically, because otherwise, you know, he doesn't come to Celtic games. He's just sitting away in the Bahamas, just having a
Dick
good laugh about
dastardly.
all this. But yeah, twirling his moustache, you know. And if you actually embarrass him in front of his rich mates, I think that seems to be the only thing that would affect him.
I'm affected by this comment by John Clements here. My ankles are too thick to get the trouser leg up. I mean, you can only see my head and shoulders, so little do you know that indeed the thickness of my ankles is quite legendary. So well done with that. That's quite funny. All right, on that self-deprecating note, I'm going to go away and cry. Oops, what's happened there? Just going to take this off. As we say, thank you to Stephen, David and Brian. Thank you very much for joining us, as always. It's been fun.
Hill.
And of course,
problems.
thanks to everyone in the chat. Oh, look, Kaiser's joining in here. I'm feeling slightly bullied. Gonna have to leave. No song, 420. If I'd had any sense, I would have lined up Shut Up Your Face for an outing.
So we'll
That
get
would
it
have
on
been good.
Thursday.
Assuming Boyd is still in the headlines, we'll do that. All right. So until next time, thank you very much, lads. Thanks everyone in the chat. Hail, hail, and farewell.